Hey homeschoolers, I'm Melissa Webb, former full-time classroom teacher and homeschool mom turned full-time business CEO and encourager to homeschool families everywhere. I want to give you sound, educational, practical tips at the same time making sure that you're enjoying the family journey that you are on. So if you are looking for a place to be encouraged and inspired, you have found the perfect podcast. Homeschooling is a work of heart is truly the perfect place to start. So welcome. Let's jump in. Hello, homeschoolers. So recently, one of my besties and I took a 4-day trip up the California coast to visit the little seaside town of Cambria. Have you been there? It's beautiful. We stayed across from Moonstone Beach and enjoyed gorgeous days. The weather was mild, perfect, a little cool in the morning, little sunshine in the afternoon. We walked the boardwalk there and hiked the local nature preserve. We talked for unfathomable amounts of time. It was wonderful. It was the rest and the relaxation I certainly needed. And I am so grateful. I'm deeply grateful for that time, for the beauty, for the break, for all of our belly laughs. But what stayed with me most wasn't just this gratitude and what we received from that time away. It was also what we gave. And that's what I want to talk about this week on having versus helping. We generously gave our time to one another. We were fully present. We listened without feeling rushed, and we encouraged one another without trying to fix each other. But we also chatted with so many fascinating locals in various shops and with strangers on the hiking trails. And we showed up with just this curiosity and kindness and this willingness to connect. And as I was thinking about it, I was thinking about how those were more about moments of contribution, of offering something, contributing something. Maybe it was attention or laughter or love. And all of that left a larger imprint on my heart than even the gorgeous coastal sunsets for which I was so grateful. And I was thinking, if I could only have one, the gratitude for the beautiful surroundings or the connection through contribution, which would I want? If I could only have one, of course I want both, but if I could only have one, I would take the latter of the two. I think connection through contribution is so important. So today, for this week's episode, I thought we could explore the differences between gratitude journals versus contribution journals. They're the having journals through the helping journals. And my thought is that it could offer a powerful impact in your home and in the ways that you teach your children the differences, because they are different. I think there's a place for both. Plus, I have some very fun, practical bonus ideas that aren't journal related that you could do that could be really fun in your family. So let's jump in. You already know, as a writing teacher, I value journaling of any kind, and I want you to do what's working. I'm not ever trying to add more to your plate, but at the same time, I'm always wanting to give you some suggestions. And I think considering creating a new type of journal that maybe you've not yet introduced could be a really great idea, especially as the school year is winding down and you want to do maybe something for the summer. Why not create a contribution journal? Which, by the way, journals are fantastic individually, but have you ever created a family journal? I mean, think about it. I think it'd be so fun to have a basket, maybe in your living room or in your kitchen on the table. You could have a couple of different family journals. Throw in some fun pens, some stickers. One, it's encouraging writing, it's encouraging communication. But in this basket, I would love to see a family gratitude journal that anybody can add to, and a separate contribution journal, all in the same basket, so that children recognize the differences between the two. So the key differences, the way I see it, is that gratitude is something that I look inward. What do I already have for which I'm just so thankful? I'm grateful. But a contribution journal is more about looking outward. What have I given to somebody else? So it's kind of like gratitude is what did I get that I'm very thankful for. Contribution is what did I give that made a difference. So both are important. Gratitude builds a sense of contentment and appreciation for what we already have, but contribution builds purpose. How may I help? Okay, so just a little bit of the differences that I see between the two journals. In a gratitude journal, especially like a family gratitude journal, I would, on that front page when you open it, give some examples. List, in this journal, our family will list the things we are each grateful for having. So it could be like the family pet or a warm bed or yummy food. It's what you have that you really appreciate. And there's a lot of value here. Those who regularly write down the things for which they are grateful experience benefits like a boost in positive thinking and reduction in stress and depression. There are studies that back me up on this. And these studies show that the activity of gratitude trains the brain to start looking for good on a regular basis. So it's just a valuable use of your time. We want to encourage our children to acknowledge, especially in writing, because you can always go back to this later. But when they write, you can acknowledge the things for which they are the most grateful. And it will be interesting for you, the parent, to read those things. You may be surprised. And if you have younger children and you're thinking, well, they're not really writing full sentences yet, don't forget, you could always print or cut out pictures from magazines or take photos and then print those off of your printer, cut them out, and tape those or glue those into the journal. Then you can actually use that as a label activity where they actually are putting the words and starting to sound out some things. It's a great way to start journal writing. Now, this is going to be different than a contribution journal. So a contribution journal focuses more on what a person gives, offers, or adds to any given day, to any particular person. And it's a way that we make someone else's day better. Or maybe we make the world better in some way, like picking up litter on the beach. I recommend that in this case, if you're new to all of this, start small. You want to have those wins coming right out of the gate. So encourage your kiddos to maybe help each other by taking someone's dishes to the sink, or sending grandma a card in the mail, or texting Aunt Susie by phone, or just hugging dad for no reason other than to say, I love you. And point out that contribution is when we focus on how we serve others. What do we give? How do we help? This will teach our children that what they do matters, that they make a difference. And that's empowering. Remember that contribution is action-based. Gratitude is reflection-based. And while gratitude does appreciate what has happened, contribution is shaping what could happen next. And by recording these things in a contribution journal, whether that's individually or as a family, It keeps a record. It also inspires others to come up with ideas that are similar and very giving. So, what I've really been thinking about over the past few days when developing this week's episode is why I suddenly see this contribution journal idea as being one of the most impactful types of writing we can offer. And I think it's because acts of giving can be more satisfying because it's what we can control. I cannot control a beautiful sunset. I cannot control if my husband is going to choose to surprise me with flowers today. I will be grateful for both of those things. But what I can control is what I contribute, what I give. Could be a loving note, a kind word, a genuine smile. I don't know if you've heard of Harvard's Making Caring Common project. It's part of their graduate program for educators. I will link to it in the show notes. It's worth checking out. And they have a mission. What they've discovered, they do a lot of research, and the bottom line is they can show studies and research that children who contribute regularly to their family, including their parents, their siblings, their grandparents, their aunts, their uncles, in their community, maybe if they're in a sports group, a music group, church group, those contributing regularly are more empathetic and socially responsible. So what Making Caring Common is doing, this is their mission. Let me pull it up here. Okay, here's what they say. We partner with families and educators and work with media to share research-informed strategies that help children develop empathy, self-awareness, and a commitment to fairness and justice. I like that this is something that educators are focusing on. And so their hope, of course, is to build communities where the focus is on building character and caring more about others. In that link that I will give you, they do offer various resources for families, educators as well, but families too as educators. They have activities that are based on the research that they've been collecting for, like the last decade they've been working on this. One of the things they have are these acts of caring cards that you can download for free. So you may want to check that out. But I have other ideas for you too. So we have a clear understanding of the difference. Having versus helping. Gratitude versus contribution. Getting versus giving. Yes? Okay. So I was thinking as I was putting this all together, not everybody's going to want to start a new journal or do that piece of it. So I was like, what else could we do? I have 3 ideas for you. The first one, have you read the book, The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein? Such a great book. You probably have read it. It's a picture book. If you haven't read it for a while, go check it out. You should own it. It really is a great book. Go grab it off of Amazon. It's a good one. And if you're familiar with the picture book, you will recall that the main character, who's just always referred to as the boy, he takes from the tree in his yard. At first, the tree gives him branches to swing from, but eventually lumber for a boat. The last part of the story, spoiler alert, all the tree has left is its old dead stump. The boy has literally taken everything. And the boy is an old man, and the tree still gives and says, I have nothing more for you except a place for you to sit and rest. So read the book. It's a great conversation starter because in that book, there is one who is grateful. The boy is grateful. He has received so many things from this tree. However, there's another character who contributes the entire time, and he contributes all that he has, and that's the tree. So have that conversation, talk about that. But after reading the book, I think this could be super fun. Grab a mason jar. I love mason jars. Grab some slips of paper and create a giving jar. Now, how I envision this, but of course, tweak it to be whatever works for you. But this is how I envision it. When a family member does something to help someone else, they would write it down and they would drop it in the jar. And let me mention this. It may be necessary to first have a conversation about how helping is a family value. It's not a competition. Because I don't know if you have kids like I have kids who would turn this into a competition. But I did 7 things and she did only 3 things, right? Like I could hear this in various families. It's not a competition. So have the conversation that this is a family value. Like this is just who we are as a family. It's what we do because we care for each other. We're not keeping track. We're not counting. It doesn't matter. Some weeks are going to lend themselves to many opportunities to help one another, whereas other weeks, maybe not as much. And it's not about keeping score. This could also be the perfect time for any of you who memorize Bible verses at home. Matthew 6:1 is the verse that says, "Do not do your good deeds to be admired by others." So again, you could see that this could tie into a lot of different things. Anyway, your jar starts to fill, and then every Friday night or whenever you want to do it, you would read, say, I'm just going to pull 3 out this week, and let's just read what happened. And mention the character traits that you notice. Say things like, that was kind of you. How patient of you to help with that, whatever activity they did. Or you are a thoughtful person. This is a great character building opportunity for you to use the things your children did and empower them while solidifying the character traits you see growing. Do you like that one? I hope so. Okay, here's a second idea I have. I would call it our World Changers Wall. I don't know that that's super creative. You could come up with something more creative, but once a week or maybe once a month, it could even be every semester, you plan to do something as a contribution as a family for your community. And you all can decide what that's going to be, whether you go pick up litter on the beach or at your neighborhood park, or you donate things like dog food or towels to your local humane society. You guys get to decide. But when you do it, you take a few pictures and then you print off those photos and you add it to this wall of world changers. And throughout the months, you'll see that wall grow with all the different things you did to contribute kindness into the world in which we live. I would love to walk into a home and see a world changers wall. I would want to hear all the stories like, oh, what'd you do there? What'd you do here? What'd you do there? So again, I just thought that could be an idea that you would like to implement. The third and last idea that I have for you this week is to create a bingo game, kind of like a contribution bingo game. You can create a fun printable bingo sheet. I don't know if you've ever gone into Canva, but they have an app in Canva. You just type in bingo and you give it things, words, or short phrases, and it will generate multiple bingo cards for you. It's pretty cool. And you could have things like help your siblings, send a thank you text, clean without being asked, donate a toy. Everybody could get a different bingo card. And this isn't something you necessarily would play in one night. I would see this more as something you would give them and say, you know, next month we're going to come back and we're going to see how many of these you were able to cross off. And they can go in any order and they can try and get, you know, the diagonal, the horizontal, or the vertical lines. Do you like this? I think this would be really fun. Anyway, when they win, You could celebrate with a special treat or a fun privilege like getting to stay up 30 minutes past bedtime. I don't know. I don't know what kind of things you do, but do something fun with that. And I think you may like this. I've already made these bingo cards. I actually have a set of 8 bingo cards. I called my game the Big Hearted Bingo Game, the game where everyone wins. You can find it in my Teachers Pay Teacher store. I will link to those cards in this episode's show notes. You can make them yourself for free on Canva, but if having them already done for you is worth $3, you'll want to head to my store and grab those today. All right, everyone. I do hope that you keep in mind that gratitude is good. And when we help our children recognize their ability to contribute, to impact others' lives in positive ways, we not only will have thankful children, but we will have children who are living with great purpose. So, what will you do this week to encourage contribution and record it? Be sure to tag me, text me, message me, whatever you want to do. If you have done something fun with this idea in your home and with your family, I would love to hear about it. Right on. Well, thanks so much for tuning in and listening this week. Hey, if this was something that you found valuable, don't forget you want to subscribe or follow so that every time a new episode is dropped, you'll be the first to know. And hey, before you go, if you are looking to get some of this academic writing under your belt and outsourced so that it's one less thing freeing you up to enjoy more time with your family, hey, you're going to want to head over to writeonweb.com to see what kinds of resources and materials I have available for you. I will look forward to seeing you there, and I will look forward to seeing you here in our next episode. Right on.